and opinions expressed in the following show are solely those of the host and their guests and not those of W4CY Radio, its employees, or affiliates. We make no recommendations or endorsements for radio show programs, services, or products mentioned on air or on our web. No liability, explicit or implied, shall be extended to W4CY Radio or its employees or affiliates. Any questions or comments should be directed to those show hosts. Thank you for choosing W4CY Radio.
Welcome to Outdoors People with me, C.W. Getz, and her, Maya Marzaki. Good evening. It's Wednesday, December 6, 2023. It is a balmy 39 degree Fahrenheit, 4 degrees Celsius, cloudy day here in north central Illinois. Maya, what you got down there in São Paulo, Brazil? Oh, I think we lost her again. We've been having internet issues, kids, for the past hour. And so everybody's been kind of going in and out, and actually that started in West Palm Beach, Florida. And I think that extended all the way to Brazil. So let's just kind of go into let's hope we get Maya back. We're going to go into the show here, and pardon for the delay. That is the reason for the delay, by the way. So we'll get started. Tonight's episode of Outdoors People is brought to you by Rutabaga Paddle Sports, providing time on the water, campground views, making camping easier, by Duluth Pack, made in the USA since 1882, and by Jackson Kayak, pursuing joy through paddle sports. Tonight's episode is Why Wait, with our guest, Mike Straub, 51-year-old Omaha, Nebraska author, computer executive, and software developer. Mike Straub, a.k.a. the Ski-Doo Looper, is also a devoted husband and father. And like a lot of fathers, Mike enjoys different types of camping, his sports cars, as well as time spent on the water. Yet, unlike most fathers, Mike is an extreme adventurer who is engaged in some extraordinary endeavors like mega road trips with his two sons through 49 states in a sports car, and long-distance jet ski tours, which eventually led him to take on the challenge of completing America's Great Loop. Mike's challenging missions, however, were not merely in vain, but rather to raise money for a charity organization that's near and dear to his heart, Autism Action Partnership. Mike joins us tonight to share his experiences from those extraordinary adventures and to give us some insight to his book, Why Wait? And with that, welcome to the show, Mike.
Yeah, thanks, CW and Maya. Now that you're back too, thanks for having me on the show.
How about it? Glad to have you here, Mike.
And hi. So everyone is having an internet issue today.
Well, hopefully mine will hold out. So we'll see.
Yeah, I think you may be one of the two or three guys that in this show, because we've got a few guests that actually didn't have internet issues, and good for you guys. Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty lucky.
And well, Mike, how did you come up with the idea of doing American's Great Loop?
America's Great Loop is, for those that are not familiar with it, and you kind of saw it maybe on the map a little bit, but basically it's a water trail around the eastern third of the U.S. And so you draw a circle around the tip of Florida and all the way up to New York and Great Lakes over to Chicago and on down to the Gulf of Mexico. That's pretty much what the Great Loop is. And so it's about 6,000 miles, 10,000 kilometers. And there's different options that you can take on the loop. You can even venture into Canada and things like that. So that's what America's Great Loop is. And so like many of your listeners, I imagine, I'm a bit of an adventure junkie. What started out as a passion with sports cars and doing big, huge driving trips with my sons. Drove to Alaska a couple of times in different Corvettes and all 9 states that I can drive to and much of Canada. That spilled over into taking my Sea-Doo, personal watercraft or jet ski, taking that out on longer trips. I'd throw a tent in the ski and go off and camp on the Missouri River. And as I was researching the Mississippi River, that's when I stumbled on this America's Great Loop. I was like, I had no idea you can do that, So I was really intrigued by it. And most people that do the loop, they're in these 30-foot to 50-foot liveaboard boats, right? They take a year and they travel the loop. But then I read that, wow, people have done it on skis before. And so it's like, that is me. I was hooked. I knew I had to do it.
That's interesting, man. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I understand being hooked on something. Maya, you can share that with when you went climbing for the first time. You're like, yeah, I love this. I got to ask you, though, Mike, you did this trip without what they call a chase crew. Now, first of all, how risky is that? And then how scary is that for you as well? I mean, you got nothing, no backup there.
Right. It was a difficult decision how to do that and whether to do that. Certainly, if you had another rider with you on another ski, that would be a lot safer.
Yeah.
You'd have a buddy boat. If one machine fails, they could tow you, or especially if you're near a lock and dam or any kind of water hazard, it'd certainly be a lot safer. But trying to find somebody else that is willing to spend 3 months and 7,000 miles on a jet ski, those are pretty hard to find.
Would you put an ad in the paper or something like that? And go, hey, by the way,
right.
Anybody interested? I'm here.
Yeah.
Love it.
So going solo ended up being, I kind of knew I was going to have to go solo. And then a chase crew. So I did have some siblings that volunteered there for different segments. They're like, yeah, I'll follow you. And, but those plans just kind of slowly faded. And having a chase crew would make the experience so much different because they would handle a lot of the logistics. And if they had the trailer for the ski, I'd probably pull up right onto the trailer. We'd probably go to the hotel. And it would just be a different experience instead of, being able to spend time with people on the loop and, dock the ski at a marina, spend a few hours at the marina with people. So over time, it just slowly faded. And as far as having a chase crew, and I decided, yep, I'm going to do it on my own and without a chase crew. And once I decided that, then it's like I knew I had to double down on all of my equipment and be really prepared. So I had 2 satellite personal location beacons that if I was in trouble, I could hit a SOS button. I had 2 cell phones in case I accidentally dropped one, into the water. I had 2 navigational systems going the whole time. So because I really doubled down on being prepared. I became comfortable with it, but yes, it was, I don't know about scary, but just, it made me nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally can tell why. That's very scary. And did you have anything go wrong during that adventure?
So winding the clock back before the Great Loop, it was back in 2020, and I was doing a trip with my son. We were on one ski running from Omaha to St. Louis. And it was day 2 of a 4-day trip, and we hit a rock wing dam. So the rivers have rock jetties that kind of direct the flow of the current, and the river was high, and it covered this rock jetty, and I didn't see it, and I wasn't running my navigation like I should have been. Shame on me. And it was an eye-opener. It was like, wow, I was not as prepared as I should have been. And so using that as motivation, that I really prepared. I had the 2 navigation stuff going on the whole trip. While on the loop, I really didn't have anything really bad go wrong.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a design flaw with the ski, where if I left weight on the machine overnight, which I had a lot of fuel with me, it would slowly let water into the spark plug, basically, and foul the plugs, and it would be hard to start the next morning. Once we figured that out in Miami, then I didn't have any other issues. So it was great.
Yeah, absolutely. Cool.
I did have big water. So, 5-6 foot wave. I tried to not venture out into anything bigger than that. That's plenty of wave action. Yeah. And even
it's pretty normal stuff, though, I would say. Yeah. Stuff you could expect. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And even not so much the size of the wave, but just being out on the water for 6 to 8 to 10 hours a day. That's what can really just take a toll on you.
It beat you up pretty good, I would imagine.
It did. Certainly, certainly the Great Lakes and the Gulf and the Atlantic. Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, we come back here. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we are going to, Maya's having some problems. She usually takes us out of the commercials, and I just realized she's having some internet issues still. But when we come back, we have got 3 guests that were there with you when you landed in our area here, LaSalle County. So don't go away. We'll be right back with more of Mike Straub right after these messages.
A few years ago, someone asked Rutabaga's owner, Darren Bush, "Hey, how long have you guys been selling boats?" Darren replied, "Well, we don't sell boats. We sell time on the water." Of course, that comes in all types. We help people paddle more safely with Rutabaga outdoor programs. We rent canoes, kayaks, and stand-up paddleboards. We sell and install racks to get you from home to adventure. Rutabaga's got everything you need to get you out on the water, like paddles, life jackets, dry bags, and clothing. Rutabaga Paddle Sports, on the web at rutabaga.com. Mention you saw this ad on The Camping Show.
It is time to go camping. Introducing Campground Views virtual tours. You can tour the campground, see the sites, see if they are available, and click to book your perfect spot. Hit the open road and explore the amazing places found in nature. We make it easy to discover, find, and book your site so that you can go have the fun and freedom you seek. Campground Views virtual tours make it easy and simple for you to see where you are going.
Duluth Pack is handcrafted for every lifestyle, making memories since 1882. In store at 365 Canal Park Drive or online at duluthpack.com.
We're one big family, a community of paddlers, and we want to make sure that everyone has a great time out on the water.
We are made right here in Sparta, Tennessee, USA.
This is where every Jackson kayak is born. Built by hand with a focus on innovation.
We are Jackson Kayak.
We are Jackson Kayak.
We're Jackson Kayak.
We are Jackson Kayak.
And we're back with Mike Straub and Ron. Let's bring our three guests we got backstage on screen. We got Vicky and Bill and Ron, and these three. When Mike came to the and you know what, one of you guys can tell the story. But when he came into the Starved Rock Yacht Club, you guys accommodated him. And he definitely, I'm sure, was grateful for that. But Vicky, why don't we start with you? You tell us, because I think you had the most involvement, from what I understand, right? Oh, can you hear us, Vicky? We're having some internet fun tonight. I'm telling you.
Right?
Yeah.
When I get back someone else go away.
Oh,
Oh my gosh.
Vicky just said my sound broke out. Okay, well then let's do this. Let's wait for her to come back in. Bill, you're probably go ahead and you give us just a couple minutes here and tell us your involvement in this. What happened?
Well, I stumbled across Mike on the Great American Loop page on Facebook, and I saw him getting his Sea-Doo ready to go and have his rack built, and it intrigued me on following his journey. I continued watching, eagerly waiting his videos every week, and as he made his way down to the Gulf and around Florida, started back up the East Coast, I was watching him go through the Great Lakes, and when he went up Lake Huron to Mackinac Island, I reached out to him, and I had my boat actually currently in Michigan, and I was going to see if he was making his way down the coast, down where in St. Joseph, where my boat was, and I was going to offer him a place to stay, but he decided to cross a little bit further up than where I was, and I was also going to go across down to Starved Rock Marina the following week, and so we chatted back and forth, and he went the week before me, and unfortunately I wasn't able to meet up with him, but we kept in contact since then, and it's been fun watching him.
Yeah. Wow. You know, that's quite a story. I love it. And by the way, Vicky's having some audio issues here, so I'm going to go to Ron right now. Ron, put him up on the screen there if you can, Juan. He is the man that made this episode even possible. One day, my friend was there. I was helping my friend put a cover on his boat and almost sliced his finger off. My good friend Danny. And we walked into the bar area, and then here's these guys working in the kitchen, and Danny's walking through with blood just dripping down his hand and his arm and everything else. And Ron was one of the surgeons in the kitchen that had been makeshift surgeons that. And anyway, we got my friend wrapped up, and I talked with Ron, and Ron was like, "Hey, you heard about this guy and this, this skidoo and blah blah blah." Oh yeah, he came. I go, what? So he's telling me about. I said we got to do a show, and Ron hooked me up and gave me all the information. So I want to thank you, Ron, for that. I really appreciate it, and thanks for taking the time to.
I'm glad we all got together.
Yeah, and so what was your experience? What was your involvement here with this whole endeavor?
Well, a group of us from Starved Rock Yacht Club were following Mike on his journey from the East Coast down to the Great Lakes, and we knew he was going to be coming by us. We followed him through Chicago, which is a big adventure in itself. Yeah. We invited him to stop in Ottawa on the Illinois River, where we raft up every weekend, and we reached out to him, which he was very cordial, and decided to stop, and we were going to give him a place to stay for the night, give him some food and beverage, and just really get to meet him. We were really excited to meet. He was a celebrity to us. And I remember we waited, and he got stuck at the Marseilles Lock, which a lot of you don't understand that. Unless you're a boater, you don't know what it's like to get stuck in a lock, let alone on a jet ski in a lock.
Wow.
So he finally got through there and came up to where we were rafted. And as tired as he was gracious enough. We pelted him with like 1,000 questions in a matter of minutes. I mean,
did you offer drinks while you were asking him these questions? I'm hoping.
Oh, of course. We're boaters. Same thing.
I love it.
So we got him situated, and everybody was, like I say, was asking him, how do you go to the bathroom? And did you come across any sharks? And what accommodations did you make to the jet ski to make it also some miles. So he was, like I said, he was great. Answered all our questions, and we sat that night and just heard story after story, and it was so interesting. I mean, we were, like I say, he was a celebrity to us. We really enjoyed the evening. You can see by talking to him just a few minutes here what a great guy he is. I mean, he's a very likable guy, and we had a ball. A lot of fun.
That's so nice. A solo trip became such a big and nice group of friends. That's so nice.
Yeah.
And now we are here together.
Okay. Well, now we got Vicky. Okay, so let's see, Vicky. Okay, she says I'm only getting a few words. Sorry. So she's not be able to get up with us audio here, or is that the case?
Okay. Can you hear me? Like
yes,
every third word.
Your turn. Fire away while we got you. Can you hear us?
Well, I don't know what's been covered I don't know what's been covered so far.
Oh, you just tell us. You just tell us.
I
your
was one of the
experience. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So I was one of the boats out with Ron, and I know like Mike ran into some issues with locks, and we helped him find somewhere to stay and things. I had originally, I think Bill was the one who actually got me in touch with Mike originally. He was going to stay in my extra cabin on my boat for the night with us when we were organizing all this. But it was cool. Mike came through and still stopped while he was waiting for a lock and hung out for an hour and had some snacks and told some stories. And it was great. It was an awesome experience to get to meet him and be part of that journey with him and kind of see him finish up after he got through the Starved Rock area. Cool. So
that's cool. And so Mike, you really are a rock star, and obviously you had these fans following. And I got to say, man, it's one of those things where the people in this area are very accommodating, and I know the boating community is very accommodating, much like the camping community. And I think it's wonderful how, everybody reached out and to give you a hand and to accommodate you, Mike. I think that hopefully says something about our area and the boating community both. So, yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, those are some pretty amazing words to hear from folks. And when I started the trip, I didn't think it was necessarily going to be a people trip. I thought it was going to be more about climbing my mountain, if you will, of doing the trip, just because I was traveling so fast and also being on a ski. I'm not a big boat, and so I was just setting myself up for maybe that part wouldn't be there. But oh my gosh, I was just amazed with the outpouring of support, both in person, virtual as well. And the gang here is just a great example of folks that reached out. And Vicky was right. I tried to get there that night for the raft up, but the lock delay, I think I spent 5 hours waiting for a lock, and then another couple hours. And so I couldn't get to the raft up that night. They had steak and lobster, and it's like, right. And then just to be able to hang out and party with them would have been amazing. But
let's get to the real serious stuff. Did you get you drunk, Mike? You could tell.
Well, I stopped in the middle of the day the next day. So they would have if I would have stopped in the night before. Yeah.
Here's your story. I love it. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff.
Oh, that's funny. Well, tell us about your book.
Yeah. So, as far as the book, it is Why Wait with the letter Y and then WAIT. And that's really just been my mantra for since 2008. That's when I went and was kind of just doing the family thing. And it's like, man, I missed my sports car. And what am I doing? I wasn't really living my life like I wanted to with passion. And so I went and bought a Corvette and drove that Corvette all around. And that led to the passion with the jet skis and doing these longer jet ski trips, and then the Great Loop trip. So, the name of my ski on the trip was Why Wait. I had the signs made on the side of the ski to help with people getting the word out, right? And I wanted to do a fundraiser for the Loop, but ended up shortening it. I just didn't have time to do a fundraiser the right way. So instead I focused on the message of why wait. So the book talks about all of the preparation for the loop and, the daily activities on the loop, and has links even into my YouTube. But it does tell a broader story of why wait. And I hope that it's inspiration to others to get out there and go do their thing, whatever it is, right? To live their life with passion and no regrets.
And you know what? That's a great message. I mean, that's absolutely a great message. And and kudos to you for doing what you did and risking your life. I mean, your safety for sure. and I'm sure your life. It's all. By the way, you get stuck in a lock. I've been there. If you have a boat where you have a bathroom, it's cool. If you don't, and then of course your liquor is stocked in your fridge. But if you don't have those luxuries, it's not fun, I'm sure. So yeah, but you did very well.
Well, luckily, go ahead. Yep.
Oh, I was going to say no. Go ahead. You finish because I'm going to take us into a commercial.
Yeah. So luckily, on the 5-hour wait, another boater offered for me to come aboard their boat, and
I love it.
And hang out for a while. So that's right to the comment of the boating community is just amazing. Awesome.
So what you're saying, the Illinois Valley here, we are pretty stocked full of liquor and very generous with it at that. That's good. Yeah. I like that. Well, I feel good about that. All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with more on Mike Straub right after these messages.
A few years ago, someone asked Rutabaga's owner, Darren Bush, "Hey, how long have you guys been selling boats?" Darren replied, "Well, we don't sell boats. We sell time on the water." Of course, that comes in all types. We help people paddle more safely with Rutabaga outdoor programs. We rent canoes, kayaks, and stand-up paddleboards. We sell and install racks to get you from home to adventure. Rutubaga's got everything you need to get you out on the water, like paddles, life jackets, dry bags, and clothing. Rutabaga Paddle Sports, on the web at rutabaga.com. Mention you saw this ad on The Camping Show.
It is time to go camping. Introducing Campground View's virtual tours. You can tour the campground, see the sights, see if they are available, and click to book your perfect spot. Hit the open road and explore the amazing places found in nature. We make it easy to discover, find, and book your site so that you can go have the fun and freedom you seek. Campground View's virtual tours make it easy and simple for you to see where you are going.
Duluth Pack is handcrafted for every lifestyle, making memories since 1882. In store at 365 Canal Park Drive or online at duluthpack.com.
We're one big family, a community of paddlers, and we want to make sure that everyone has a great time out on the water.
We are made right here in Sparta, Tennessee, USA.
This is where every Jackson kayak is born. Built by hand with a focus on innovation.
We are Jackson Kayak.
We are
Jackson Kayak.
We're Jackson Kayak.
We are Jackson Kayak.
And we're back with our guest, Mike Straub. And this is Maya's favorite part of the show, part of the episode where we took photos. So let's put some photos up and we'll take a look at what Mike sent us. Yeah. Oh, there's the route, Mike. Look at this.
Yeah. And so the route, and I kind of call this, you can see the loop part here with the circle that I kind of described, but then there's also the extra 600 miles from Omaha to St. Louis, which I affectionately call the pigtail, that I had to travel because I started and ended in Omaha. And so heading down to the Gulf from St. Louis, people can do the Mississippi River, but there's also another set of waterways it's much friendlier to pleasure craft and boaters. down the Tennessee and Tom Bigby waterways. But yep, around Florida on up to New York and the Erie Canal and Great Lakes.
Looks like you were down there by Juan. I'm surprised he didn't see you.
That's true.
Juan, did you see anything? You know, any jet skis going by that looked like they were on a mission or no?
Yep, I would have passed by.
I love it.
And it is like a river in the half of your trip it is in the river, and then the other half it is in the sea, right?
Yes. So the rivers are awesome because they're generally pretty flat water, pretty smooth, unless there's big, huge tows that go by. And then along the coastline, there is, well, you can either choose to go out into the Gulf of Mexico or the Atlantic Ocean, but there's most of the time you can travel what's called the Intracoastal Waterway. And so it's kind of a channel built to help protect boaters from the bigger waters outside.
Yeah. Interesting.
Oh my
Here's
gosh.
The rig. I love it. Look at that thing.
I can't believe it. You are so brave in travel 3 months with these big jet ski. That's crazy.
Yeah.
He gets rained on. He's getting drenched, man. There's no dry spot on that boat.
Right. Yep. It's this is a bigger ski that I rode on. It's a Sea-Doo Fish Pro Trophy, and there's kind of an extended platform on the back where you can see where my orange camping bag is located, and then the 4 6-gallon jugs of fuel that are on there, and I even have my it's an oar that doubles as my flagpole. And that's what's behind me here as well.
Yeah, true.
And then I had the big bag on the seat. That's my clothes, and I had 2 computers with me because I worked while I was doing this trip. 2 days a week, I would double up at a hotel and work out of a hotel room. So, and then I had a saddle bag there on the side with rain gear, so I could quickly put on a rain jacket and rain pants, etc. But yeah.
That's too crazy. And you are working.
Here's what I like. This is the one I like, man. And I know what that's like in a canoe and a kayak. And
yes, this is crazy coming up under a bridge like this. And of course, you know, the bridge will go up for the larger boats, and you know they'll raise it up. But when you contact the folks at the bridge and you say, "Hey, I'm wanting to come through," their first reaction is, "Well, can't you just fit?" And I'm like, "Are you sure you want me to try?" And so I'm literally just inches of room, and I'm ducking my head way to the side so I don't.
Well, Mike, your paddle back there is about ready to hit those freaking bridge supports.
It is.
Yeah. And I see a banana boat commercial happening right here, right? With that tanning lotion, that sunscreen.
Oh, yep, you see it.
Yeah, I see that banana boat there. I love that. Yeah. Your paddle's almost hitting. And you know what happens if you would have got hung up under there? I mean, who's going to rescue? Well, there's rescue people, but somebody's liable, I would think, right?
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking they would not want to be under there.
Yeah.
But I went real slow, and I have reverse, so I could have reversed my way out of it, I think.
Well, depends on the current, but
Right.
Yeah. I'm just good thing like Dave Matthews' bus isn't driving over the top, you dumping their wastewater out or something. I see.
Oh my gosh. Right.
I see that's a open bridge. Oh my God. Open deck. Yeah. Oh boy. What is this? I saw this. What is that?
Yeah, this is on Lake Michigan, and it's from a video from my 360 camera, but I caught it. Just the amount of splash that happens when the ski comes down off of a wave and settles back down onto the water and kind of hits. There's quite the impact and the amount of splash that happens, and it makes for kind of a cool picture. It's on the back of the book even. Now, what you don't want to happen is for the tip of the ski, the bow, to actually dip into that next wave. because then there'd be a full rush of water coming up and over the top and just hitting me. And that did happen 3 times. So, and that, man, it's a wall of water when it comes up and over the nose of the ski and knocks you back.
Scary. Oh, that's beautiful.
This is also Lake Michigan, coming into Chicago. And I did not have a great weather day coming into Chicago. The seas were running pretty mean that day and confused. You can kind of see that here, but it was fun to be able to see Chicago from quite a ways out and see it that way.
Cool.
Yeah. Statue of Liberty, being able to stop in front of the Statue of Liberty and take a picture like that, it's really just a great, you almost get emotional, right? We're so fortunate to be able to do the things that we do here and to have the opportunity to do it. So I spent a good 30 minutes in front of the Lady Liberty there.
Nice. That's a great picture, by the way.
Thanks. This is flying gold was kind of how I call it. So you can see the gold burgee flag there is gold, and I swapped that out. It was white, and for the loopers, that indicates that you've completed your loop. And so I was on my way home from St. Louis to Omaha, and I took that pose so I could post it out to the Great Loop community and let them know that I completed my loop and I'm on flying gold on the way home.
Homebound. I love it. So cool.
Finally.
Love it. Is this when you were stuck in a lock? It must be.
This is one of the locks. This was on the Erie Canal, I believe.
Oh, okay. Not the one you were stuck in. Okay.
Not the one I was stuck in. Yeah. And so, being just one ski in the whole lock area, and some of the locks, right? They're 60, 90 foot drops or rises, depending on which way you're going. And so it's kind of not intimidating, but just a little creepy being in there by yourself.
Creepy. I love it. There you go. And that's Vicky's boat, right?
Yeah, that is. That's with Bill, Vicky, Ron, and the gang at their raft up. And so I arrived, it was in the middle of the day, and I was starving, and they're like, "Here you go."
Yeah, I want to be Vicky's friend. I want to be on that boat. I like that.
Oh,
that's great.
They're a fun group. That was so awesome. I wish I could have spent more time with them.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, this is New York, you said?
This is in New York, yes. And so it's so funny to be on a ski and you're going by all these tourists, and the tourists are looking at me like, what is that dude doing? They see the 4 gas cans and all the bags, and they know I'm up to something. And you could just hear him, black guy is crazy. What's he doing? It's fun to take a picture of them taking a picture of me. This is, what was interesting is, leaving the ski at night, I had to take my gear with me. And so those 2 black bags and the cooler bag is, that's about 90 pounds of gear that I had to haul off the ski every night, take it to the hotel with me. And then the next morning, put all of that back on the ski and all the electronics. And so,
a lot of work.
Yeah. Especially in 95-degree sweltering heat. Yeah.
But you're a rock star now, and that was worth it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I guess so, man. I need to go see that group again.
Plus the charity. I think it's all had to be worth it for sure.
Yeah.
That's so nice. Thank you for sharing your pictures. And Mike, where can people find you online?
Sure. Online they can find me. I'm on Facebook, and so mike.straub.drives, and I'm also on YouTube. And really, if you just search for Sea-Doo Looper, SEADOO, and then Looper, Sea-Doo Looper, you'll be able to find me that way. And then the book, are we able to give links to the book?
Yeah, absolutely. We got them all going across the screen. Please give us those too.
Oh, perfect. Yes. So I created little URLs for it. So I have a paperback that's available on Amazon. And so you can probably find it just by searching Amazon, but tinyurl dot why wait book PB, like PB paperback. And then a nicer color hardcover is available, and I'll sign these. I've got one here, but I'll sign those. And so that's available on tinyurl.com/whywaitbookhc hardcover. Why Wait Book HC. HC stands for hardcover.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Well, excellent. Well, Mike, listen, we want to thank you for being on the show. We apologize for some of our technical difficulties, which were beyond our control, obviously. So we had a few of those tonight. But wonderful story, and it was great to have you on the show. And just thanks for being here.
Thank you so much, CW. And Maya, nice to meet you. Really appreciate you having me on the show.
Yes, thank you very much for being here with us. And again, I'm sorry for the internet issues.
No worries. No worries.
And we also want to thank our sponsors for bringing you tonight's show, Rutabaga Paddle Sports, Campground Views, Duluth Pack, and Jackson Kayak.
Episode, The Mysterious World of Underwater Photography. Along with Maya Marzaki, this is CW Getz saying thanks for tuning in to Outdoors People. See you next week.
Ciao.